Hello, good people of social media land. So I haven't been doing much recently for various bits and pieces, but one thing I did say a while ago that I was going to do is a few like book reviews and stuff. Um, and some things that I'll sort of been reading as I go along. I've got a couple of bits in progress that are books that have just come out or are coming out, but there are so many good ones that I'm sure all of us have read. So if you've read any of these as they come up, then please do comment on them. So the first one is one I read ages ago, like literally years ago, when I was starting to get into history a lot more. So I already loved Tudor history, and I came across this one and thought, maybe I should expand a little bit like this. Um, and I kind of still at this point sometimes had the image of a historian, especially a male historian, sorry, as someone sort of very old and stuffy, with the jackets with the patches on the elbows and some very sensible spectacles, and a little bit like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And it was obviously like that at one time, but this was one of the first books that I read that just blew that out of the water for me. Now, the person that wrote this book, I know them now, and he's brilliant, and he is as far removed from that stereotype as you can get, and I love him to bits. So this is A History of the English Monarchy by Gareth Russell. So I'll read you the blurb on the back. It says, in A History of the English Monarchy, historian Gareth Russell traces the story of the English monarchy and the interactions between popular belief, religious faith, and brutal political reality that helped shape the extraordinary journey of one of history's most important institutions. From the birth of the nation to the dazzling court of Elizabeth I, A History of the English Monarchy charts the fascinating path of the English monarchy from the uprising of warrior Queen Boudica in AD 60 through each king and queen up to the golden age of Elizabeth I. Russell offers a fresh take on a fascinating subject as old as the nation itself. Legends, tales, and above all, hard facts tell an incredible story, a history of the English monarchy. So this is published by Make Global Publishing. Some of you might know Gareth more recently for his superb autobiography of Catherine and Howard, Young and Damned and Fair. I think that's right. And more recently for his book on the Titanic. But this is a really great introduction to somebody I think who is wanting to get into history. I can't speak today. Who is wanting to get into history. People often sort of focus on one period that they really like, the Tudors being a really common one. So obviously it finishes with the Tudors, but it takes you back. It's not dry, it's not boring, it's not like, some people love to find out, for example, nitty gritty of how a battle was fought, but if that's not your thing, it isn't like that. It's just really easy, it flows beautifully. And Gareth is very erudite, he's extremely clever, he is hilarious. And I read this before I met him, and he's even more hilarious in real life than he is in this book. But there were literally bits of this. I was walking to and from work reading it, and I was just laughing so hard. And I was on my own as well, which is always an interesting thing to be doing when you're walking around on your own and looking slightly insane. So I would definitely recommend this book completely. It is awesome. Yeah, there's not so much I can say really more than that. It has been a while since I read it, but it's definitely something that's worth reading again. If you can get hold of it, then I would certainly do that. So that's the end of my review of the English history of the English monarchy. If you've got any questions about it, please do pop them in underneath. But even though I said it's a really good introduction, it's still like really valuable for people who know a lot about this period in history. Please don't discount it if you already know sort of you have a fair grasp of English history or British history up until this point. So there we go. So that is available in paperback and on Kindle. Obviously, you can buy that through Amazon particularly. And I will definitely get down and have a look at that one. If you are looking for something with a little bit of an unusual take, which can go up from very serious to extremely funny, it's a really good read. So if you've read it or you read it and you'd like to leave a review or your opinions, please do pop those underneath. Thank you very much. Have a great day.